Okay, for the final session in exercise number 9, we just want to do some, have a little fun with our machine simulation. So let's go ahead and save this as when you get it done. Save this as an STL file. The way you do so is just go to the verify selected operation. That's for both of your operations that you have done. And then once you have that done, come over here under file and save stock as. This allows you to save this stock, save this block as a stock file, and then I called it exercise 9 stock, and that's also included in your exercise 9 folder. So after you have that done, come over here and click on machine simulation. So we want the 5-axis gen VMC TTAB machine selected. It's just a default machine that we're using. Make sure you have position translation in X, Y, and Z selected, and translate the block 2 inches. So what that does is that it takes our part and it brings it up 2 inches in the Z axis. Now the reason I did this is because I'm machining too close to the edge over here, and my tool might extend a little bit and hit my fixture. I don't want that, so I extended that 2 inches just to make sure I clear that out. Okay, so under stock, come over here and click on load STL file. Okay, and then click on this and then click on exercise 9 stock that you have saved. After you have that done, click on simulate, and now Mastercam will set up the machine simulation for you. Okay, so there is your machine simulation. Now it's already loaded. I'm gonna move this out a little bit. And what I'm gonna do is there's a few options that I can watch this simulate in. You can do a tool focus, which means just the tool and the block are machined at the same time. The workpiece focus, which means your tool will be machining and the workpiece is focused at the same spot at all time, or your machine simulation. And I'll show it to you in all 3 of those phases. So go ahead and click on play, and then you can see your part being machined back and forth. Now that might be sore for the eye if you zoom in a little too much. I'm gonna slow it down just so I can show you what's going on. So you can see that the part is rotating back and forth because it hasn't fully took the entire shape of the part yet. So it's rotating back and forth on machining both sides of the part while twisting. So it's really using all 5 axes at this time. It's going back and forth X and Y. In this axis, in the C axis and the A axis as well. So those are your 5 axes while it's going up and down obviously as well. So you can choose to do this where this is the tool focused, the tool stays stationary and the block rotates so you can see what's happening. You can do a block focus, so everything else seems to be moving but the block is stationary the entire time. Or you can do the machine focus over here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to forward it until it's gonna verify it every time I forward my operation, a lot like that. So this takes a little bit, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna zoom in so you can see a little bit better now that it machined the top surface of the part. So click on play now. And you can see now it's going back and forth, machining the entire surface and the form of the part. But see, it has to rotate 90 degrees to keep going in that axis. Okay? Now, and that's mainly because we assigned it a line to be guided through the entire time. So the tool is exactly vertical on the part the entire time. So you want to be careful when you do machine things like that, because as you can see, while the part is moving, the tool can have a tendency to hit other parts of the part, and that's where you have to make sure that you have your options set up correctly so you don't have any tool collisions with your part while it's machining. And that's one of the reasons why I did not place the tool to stay down the entire time in this process, because I want to make sure that it does not machine any surface of my part while it's doing the operations that were given to it. Okay, so I can sit here if I want to forward this all the way through, and this just rushes all the operations really fast for me until it gets to my last and finishing operation. You can see the surface finish over here. You can see kind of the ridges that it has on here. Now it starts the finishing operation, and you can see that it's a different color, the finishing operation, and you can see that there's some teal around the green. So if I slow this down back again, you can see that there's some teal still around the green. It's because, like I said, I did not give it a very smooth finishing operation because of the time consumption that it would have taken. So if I would have if I would have assigned it the correct options to do the right finishing and the tight finishing that I want it to finish as, this would have entirely been green. This operation here might have even been longer than my entire roughing operation, and it would have taken Mastercam a lot of time to verify that. So I kept that out of the loop. But there you go. This is how you can set up and watch your simulation. This part right here is 2 inches above my stock. So you can see that that's why I moved it up, just in case my tool was going to pass this and hit my stock. And it actually was hitting my stock. That's why I went back and I changed it to 2 inches above my part. Now you definitely don't want that. Either if you want to do something like that, make sure that your block comes down and hits this part and it's extended on both sides of the part, so you can have some way of clamping this part while it's machining the surface. Okay, so you can go ahead and exit out of this when you're done, or click on the exit button of the surface of this machine simulation. Inside the machine simulation, there's an exit button that you can also click to exit the operation. And this concludes your Mastercam multi-axis exercise number 9.